Welcome back on Dynamod. Today I want to propose you a video about...
Now it's time to prepare the Slann. As you can see, the model is really full of details in a lot of ways, so I'm studying how to build it. I can start with seeing that the mod itself of the Slann and the throne itself, you can build them separately, but the throne itself could be interesting to build separately in some steps so that you can paint and then assemble. So this is to study such type of intriguing model. About the Slann, we have different options. About the right hand, we have this, that it seems that it's manipulating in such way, or this one, that we can find that it's with an object up, or free one. It's only the positioning of the wrist that you can change about this. About the left one, where we have this with the subtle, or this one with the skull. And we have also different heads. We have this one, that it's really quite good, or about this one that you can choose the upper part more detailed or more rich, or simple one, so that you can really choose which one you prefer based on your options eventually. So you can see that we can create almost two Slann complete, because we have this, that it's the options at the set to use, but it's my decision, it's something that you can change us on. On almost half Slann, because we have all the upper part, as you can see. We only miss the part of the belly and the part of the legs, so eventually we can take this bottom part and clone it if you're interested about having two of such model. Having saved two these parts that I think about reusing it. So we have from simple model really quite intriguing and quite a lot of different options, really nice. I decided to make a more advanced step. So this one, it's the one that we've seen before. And about this, I used the part of the upper part to create the belly, and the part of the hand that left to create a sort of leg. And so to make in such way, I reinforced the bottom part here with some residual from the sprue, so to reinforce, and then to use something filling, for the example with tin foil and green stuff, to create then the part related about the bottom part, so to create a second Slann in such way. Simple but really quite nice. And then I also to show you the part about this model, this one that I'm making, and this one that is the old Slann. So it's something that I quite like. It's the well lit one. I never painted it, and I miss the part related about the throne, but it's not a problem because I can modify it. So from one not painted Slann, I'm going to have 3 ones, so quite nice. Anyway, as you can see, the size, it's not so much difference between the two. It's some about 1 centimeter about, so they are really quite close. But anyway, this new model, it's quite much more massive because it's more open and so on. And anyway, it's a bit bigger, and it makes see the comparison. So I quite like at the end what we can have. And after the Slann, it's time for the throne itself. The first two steps about the front is to pick these two pieces, and you have to do this movement. Pay attention to make such, so that you can glue. It's something that you have to try, and this design sincerely it's not the best about how to make, but if you rotate it, you can find easily how it works. The next step is similar, so instead of what it's in design, pick this one as it is, and here it's how you can connect them. Before to combine the upper part here, you have to remember to cut and prepare this part, because it will be this, and it will be better to prepare this before that you glue everything together. But remember that there are quite a lot of details, so think if you want to paint these things before. Same from this, that goes to be like this combined, that it's better to prepare at least half of the part before that you put these parts together, so that it's a much better way to be able to combine everything, assemble them. About such step, remember to pay attention because you had then to paint these parts. So you had to understand if you want to paint these separately and then assemble them together, or glue them together and then go to paint. So pay attention because otherwise you risk not to reach certain parts about such type of model. And here you can understand why I don't use the plastic glue, because I had to build this part, because okay, it was better shooted about this, but I had also to build this part under here, and it was problematic if you build everything together, because then you have to put also this part in the upper here so, and you have two options about such ones, so this one that you can see or this one, so it's up to you decide. Sincerely, I go for this one because I like more. And then you have also this option that you have to pay attention because there is these little things. So if you have to do, you have to build up in such a way. Remember that if you do so, you have a problem about reaching, when you build everything together, these parts to paint. So I suggest you to eventually paint this part before to assembly everything, so that you'll not have such problems. So you can decide in a lot of different ways, but remember to have a bit of attention about how you want to proceed. Then I added these two parts that are available, and about the part that go here, you can choose about these two ones that you can choose these ones that are available, and you can choose which one you prefer. Essentially, I go to use these because this I want to use about Necron, and so for another type of army, because it's really quite intriguing about this. About this step, I suggest you to use some patafix, because you need to position this one to make in such a way, and then to position these ones. As you can see, there is this hole here with this one that you can make this one, so to have such effect that it's perfect to combine this. And also about this one, that where you have these two holes with these two ones, then you can make this available. You have to pay attention a bit how to position under here, because there is to be something like this. So I suggest here eventually to start yet to paint the model before to make this assembly, and eventually to position some patafix about here to keep everything in position, so that then you can paint, disassemble, and then finish what you need eventually if you forget something, and then reassemble and glue. So it's up to you to decide how you want to make it fashion. Then we have the part about the trunk. Here we have a trick, and it's these two parts that will go to perfectly combine with these two ones here, so that we can make the connection. So we can push like this, and then you can find that here it's perfectly combined also in such a way, so it's quite easy. Then you take the trunk and push in such a way. As you can see, it's perfect okay here, and you have everything together to sustain the model itself. Pay attention because these ones are a bit thick, but anyway quite delicate anyway. Then to finish these parts, to connect these two steps together, I suggest you to take this one and put here doing this, so that you can make this, and everything go to perfect go together, because you have only to glue this part, this step, and that go to perfectly combine. So simple but nice. So now we only need to combine everything together. Here, sincerely, I suggest you to paint these separately, because otherwise it will be a problem to reach certain parts to paint. So it's better to before paint than to get to separately, and then do this. And remember that anyway there is also other steps to reinforce the base, so that you have more sustain, because otherwise you have only such little part and it's not so great and you risk to break. So at least having some more, it's really quite intriguing, and I think that it's correct to have. So here we have the model that it's quite nice. I really like such one, and we have some option to choose. The first one, it's about, for example, this one that it's I think with this flying lizard, that eventually you can substitute with this, that can be another sustain about the throne itself, other than this, that it's optional, it's secondary one, and the main one that it's the one on the back. And eventually we can also substitute other options. For example, we have this about such lizard and about such frog that can be removed for these ones. So this king that has 2 plugs eventually to use, and this skink warrior. So we have simply to remove such one and this one about here, and put then this skink one up here and the other one here. Eventually we can simply choose to monetize, but I don't suggest you about monetizing because it's not worth. Because okay, you have the lizard and the frog, but you can simply cut the bottom part of it and glue on the part about the model. It's not a problem. And remember that to final touch we have the Slann that you can simply add. You can modify. I have said about this, but it's up to you. Sincerely, about this, I suggest you to paint the Slann separately from the trunk so that you can paint. Otherwise, you have problem to reach the background here of the Slann to paint and so on, and it's not the best. You can choose about monetize the base so that you can put and cap off the Slann, but sincerely, because this run is comfortable, I suggest you even not to glue and keep as it is, and you can remove and substitute, for example, with a skink or so on, and having that you can change. Okay, if you put a skink, maybe you want to monetize or so on the base. It's not difficult, but it's not something that, in my opinion, it's worth, because it's large enough and the skink would be perfectly suited as it is, so it's not a problem. So do decide anyway how you want to personalize, because this it's an amazing model. It's only up to you decide how you want everything to be created and suited you.
So,
From Dino Mode, it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again to the next time.